Hi, welcome to Wayward Souls, for the first time. Sorry, I forgot about the captured layer Windows thing in OBS. I'm your pal Slowbeef. This is a game I wanted to show off. I showed the intro on stream before, so I'll just go through this real quick for those who didn't get to see it. And this time with a little more of with a better HUD and such. So anyway, Wayward Souls is, of course, by Rocketcat Games, makers of Hook Champ and such. They're typically good at sprite work, and they're typically very good at, like, sort of doing touch controls that aren't so obtuse, intrusive or anything. They make games kind of around the touch controls, which worked out. The game's title and inspiration obviously comes from Dark Souls. It's randomly generated, and it has a lot of, well, you have to play it. What's the word I'm looking for? I guess conservatively? John Guion. Wait, this is actually a phone game. It is. I'm playing it on my iPhone. According to Stream, it is currently $6.99 on Android. Apparently, as more features and such get added, the price is going to increase. The developer made a game called Punch Quest, which is kind of interesting. It was free, all DLC based and all that, but, not DLC. All micropayment based, but I don't know, it didn't do as well as the developer liked. So this game started at $2.99 as he added more levels and things, I think. I think I got it at $4.99. As you can see, like, spells, I was trying to show this off before, are activated through the pause menu. These sort of shrines, idols, not really sure what they give you sort of status upgrades for the rest of the level, etc. This tutorial is not randomly generated, but the rest of it is. It is not a true roguelike insofar as there is no true permadeath. You can buy upgrades that persist from run to run. We'll see how that goes as we go. Forges give you randomly upgraded items and such. Well, apparently not this time. Last time I showed off the Solar Scepter, so let's try the Dawn Fury. And like I pointed out the last time I streamed this, if you notice, this is actually a different sword sprite than before, I believe. And Wayward Souls is pretty cool about that. If you buy, or if you forge rather, different armor and things like that, the change will reflect on your sprite, which is pretty cool. Shift, this looks actually pretty okay. This actually looks pretty okay. Not bad at all, I'd say. I think this is the only sort of issue I have is the sort of offensive-defensive abilities, as the game called it, which I think are a bit of a misnomer to start with, because depending on the character class, they don't necessarily map to offense-defense, and you do kind of need them on demand, which can be pretty tough, you know, because gesture recognition is kind of a wonky sort of thing, you know. Offense and defense. Hero Auto, not offensive defense. Not Metal Gear Rising. Although I would be interested to see the iOS take on Metal Gear Rising. There is a story to Wayward Souls. I don't know it very well. I typically play this game, well, on the bus or in commuting, so I tend to skip past some of it. But it is a little dark for an iOS game. Heretic Void. Someone has invented a controller for phones, by the by. I'll just be quiet for this cutscene. Nah, I don't think I need to. I think I can talk over blipping text. Okay, right? So, anyway, we have our tutorial boss in Baron Amaranth, who tends to summon knights. You can see these shield knights. There's a trick to them where we do our power attack to knock away the shield. Or distance attacks work too. Ranged, I should say. We kind of know the outcome of this fight isn't going to go well. I'll at least try to get to Baron Amaranth to show why, but, you know. You can see in the upper left that blue meter is my stamina. It doesn't really work like Dark Souls, where you can't do anything if you're on a stamina, but typically your power moves don't work, meaning these charge moves, and the charge moves are actually really good. Right there, for example, I did try to get out that defensive move quick, and I wasn't able to do it until my second try. But you can see stunning enemies is very, very effective in this game. And we're going to get right into it. How many more do I have? Oh, I only have one more of those stunning moves, so I better not do that. You see Amaranth, well, basically all he does is he summons, like, extra Mace Knights. Mace Knights, if you watch closely, you can see their gimmick is pretty easy, right? They, like, swing around and then they do a power attack you gotta get out of the way of. The timing tends to throw me a bit, though, because it's not... It doesn't seem like it's always the right way. Pulahoko says, this looks like it feels like NES Zelda. SNES Zelda. I guess so. The controls, you know, there's no pad for me to, like, jam on buttons or anything. It doesn't feel like, oof, exactly like that. I'm trying to get my ass kicked. Whoa, dear. Yeah, so as you can see, Amaranth is a pretty tough guy to deal with. And that's it. That's the prologue. We do get, so like I said, we get character classes in a warrior, who's pretty good, a mage who I don't really like to play, I'll show her off, and a rogue who I do like to play. Locked currently, we have an adventurer, we have a spell sword, and a cultist who I've never unlocked. RSC Nix, can you beat the tutorial boss? Spoilers, not here. Let's go with the warrior though, just to show him off. He's a tough, devastating fighter of call. So you can see there's upgrades you can purchase, you know. So for example, the upper left one there is eye for an eye. You can see how it works. The one I like is the 7th one there, which is of course maximum health, but we need 15 upgrades to unlock it. So 50, 50, 60, 70. We got a bunch of coins to collect. We'll start with the first of the 3 levels in the game, mines. There's a lot of weird slang in the game. Rotters are zombies or the undead in general, more or less. Each character has their own unique story, which is kind of neat, you know. You can see there's a bit of a Final Fantasy vibe to it insofar as there's a couple steampunk type of things going on in Wayward Souls, you know. But nothing crazy that I've seen anyway. No, like, lasers or anything like that. You can see that Blythe has shields and axes, throwing axes to be specific. Those are his defensive and offensive capabilities. When you have a shield equipped, it stays with you till you use your sword. And as you can see, it kind of absorbs damage. But like I said, it stays with you till you use the sword, meaning you kind of have to use it sort of like a parry, you know, when you're expecting to take damage, because obviously you can't attack with it. So, let's see here. MGN001, what's the blue bar? It is stamina, not like Dark Souls. The stamina powers your charge attacks, your power attacks, which you get by holding the right side of the touch screen. You can store your charge, and then it gives you a strong dash move. But as you see here, if I try to use it early, I don't get the dash. And in fact, it's not stronger, I believe. There's nice little touches, though. I like how the lantern kind of moved when I hit it. And I'm already through the first of 5 levels of the mines. We'll see how I do the first time around. So we get a little bit of the story, and we get our first forge of the game, too. So let's see what we got. Okay, this is an upgrade for our gauntlets, so we can have... So wait, before we do that... Yep, okay, I have bare fists here, my character's running with, so let's see if it works. Purple one. Let's see. Lower magical damage, throwing axes, block, eat bullets. That's pretty cool. I like that one, though, piercing. So we're going to do throwing axes, pierce up to 3 enemies. Forge. And yeah, if you look now, in fact, my character looks different because the forge actually does reflect the sprite change, which is kind of neat. And here's another idol here. So we get Blazing Fury, which I believe increases attacking power. I said before it lasts the entire level. I don't know that that's quite right now that I'm thinking about it. I think it just lasts a long time. I know it definitely goes away when you exit the level, though. There is a coin vacuum already in place, so you don't actually have to sit there and collect every single coin. Pulahoko wanted me to make every lantern wiggle, so I'll see what I can do. Just gonna warn you, it's a little tough for me to read chat because obviously I have to look down at a phone while I do it, but you know. Cardinal direction. Smart sprite changing with equipment legitimately makes me more interested. It's pretty cool, honestly. There is a good level of detail. Tentacles says, Beef, show off that rogue. We will. We got a couple of people to show off. Don't worry. Notice these goblins, again, this is sort of a random thing you might encounter in the dungeon. Dungeons are randomly generated, like I mentioned. This is kind of nice. It's piecemeal. It's fairly seamless, you know. I mean, if you're really looking, you'll see the seams, but I mean, it's not like room-based or anything. And we found our first hat. Hats, as far as I've encountered, are purely cosmetic, so we'll equip the worm eyes. Why not? You can see my character now has them. I'm not really sure what the particle effect around that one goblin dude is going on. I think maybe those are kobolds, really. I'm not quite sure. I'm still learning my Wayward Souls lore. Oh, and here we go. So you can see there's little story bits that go on. Again, these are totally random. You may or may not encounter them. There are story bits specific to each character that you will encounter at good times, but this one appears to be just sort of flavor text. Whoa, dear. Hey. I have one complaint, it's that maybe these cutscenes do go on a little long, but... Good. There were coins in that mushroom, too, which is a good thing. Beating the level will restore some of your health, which is nice. So, we have our motivation for Blythe already, which is he's searching for his dead brother's remains. And we also have, I don't know if I'd call them mages. They're sort of like steampunk robots down here in the mines. There is an in-game like name for them, like grinders. I'm kind of forgetting. We'll probably see them in a cutscene. See it mentioned in a cutscene somewhere. Hey now, watch it. So, as like I mentioned, there's a coin vacuum. You do have to get like somewhere in the region of the coins. It's not automatic, but typically you can just walk just right around it and it'll like come snap to you. It's typically not a problem unless you purposely walk away from the coins. Note this is not true of other items like the shields. Note too, I'm very bad at using the shields. We do have one item in here, by the way, which is ogre oil. You can kind of see the description's pretty self-explanatory there, I think. Oh, hey now, hey now. Ah, screw it, let's show it off. One thing I do hate, however, is about something that says the next 5 attacks stun is that, well, I have to use some of those attacks to finish off a stunned foe, so, This is... oh. This makes fire come out of my weapon, so we'll be using that. Caber Tosser, show off the axes. We'll do. And we have haste, which makes this level go on a lot faster, fortunately. So... without further ado, there we go. Oh wow, that was pretty easy, yeah. Yep, okay. Now that we're done with all the robots, I think, is this a dead end or a pointless room? Might have been. Alright, hey. As you can see though, there's a big robot part right around here that I'm circling while fighting these guys. Out here. Here's axes. They pierce 3 enemies thanks to that forge upgrade, I believe. So maybe we'll be seeing what part of the robot... maybe we'll be seeing what robot part that is. That's called foreshadowing. It's a sign of a good streamer. And we're done with level 2. Hey. So, we have Blythe specific villain, which is Gullwretch. And we also have a couple weapon choices here. Places power attack with short distance spinning charge. Slow with more damage, strong power attack. Let's just try the spinning attack to show it off. We also get a little note here we can read. Hey, out of my way, alchemy desk. Keppa likes to have, that's the developer again, does like to like throw in little funny, he has like funny little dialogue in pretty much all his games, you know. Except maybe Punch Quest, now that I think about it. I don't think there was any dialogue in that, but both Hook Champ and I believe Super Hook World had it. Super Quick Hook, I'm sorry, is the name of the second game. There's a third one, a Hook Worlds, that I didn't like a lot. The Hook games are pretty good, though. Oh, dear. Like I said, you know, like a Souls game, you want to play conservatively. I'm not good at that. I am not a patient video game player, so sometimes I run into issues. You can probably guess what that is, right? Yeah, of course. Let's just waste an axe showing it off, why not? These guys are pretty annoying, these dynamite dudes. Unfortunately, there's no friendly fire for the dynamite, and also unfortunately, they blow up, and after they blow up, they release a little more dynamite that also blows up. And when you're in the thick of it, it's just a tiny bit hard to tell sometimes that you killed one. Not because it's hard to see, just because you're busy slashing at other stuff. Alright, I'm full of ammo, and I'm still not using shields, which is a bad thing. So let's remedy that. Your shields will only take so much damage, by the way, also, before they automatically go away. But they're, you know, typically pretty good. It's a pretty good defensive maneuver that I'm no good at using. Let's see here. Oh, dear. I almost got a little too close to that dynamite there. Here, come on. Let's do a little tactical stuff. There we go. Apparently dynamite has the stunning effect. Who knew? Short spinning charge is not too bad, you know? It's wide, good for crowd control, but what floor am I on? Is this the third floor, I believe? Third or fourth. Let me just bop that lantern. Cool. Sorry, I skipped that one dialogue box a little quick. This is kind of an annoying cutscene, because obviously I could run after him at this point, but my character won't, you know. But oh well, at least in these little sort of characters with the cutscenes, you get a lot of gold. And no cutscene between floors. I think that's actually, not it for the between floor cutscenes, you know, period, but they're they're not going to be every floor now. And I believe now that we've seen them, they're not going to show up again. But or at least that was true of the last version of this I played. What the heck was that? Oh, this guy. Okay. I hate these dudes. These green things spit really fast, and they're tough to get close to. So once you do, you know, no big deal. This, I believe, is, what, floor 4? So this is... Oh, no! This might be the last floor? So many screams. Yep, this is the 5th floor. Sorry, this is the boss. We'll do maybe one of these each time, because there's actually a bunch of ghosts around here talking, you know? But the notion is we can't get to Baron Amarant's castle except through the mines. This is a big part of the story, too, is Lord Amarant and the mages, more or less. What's this? No. That's fine, we're cool. We'll just grab another fire spell. Yeah, we'll do that cutscene another time. That ghost cutscene, that is. In the meantime, however, we have, of course, our first boss. A butler. So, if this game doesn't seem that hard to you, I have played it a hell of a lot. Humphrey's actually kind of a hard-hitting boss, so he tends to be pretty tough. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Oh dear. Yeah, so already that's not a good start to the fight. Alright. Oh dear. Wow, yeah, Humphrey's kind of giving me a run for my money, and he shouldn't be, because he only has like 2 or 3 attacks. Another interesting thing about Humphrey, apparently he takes a little bit of a toll on the CPU for some reason, because I noticed I'm hearing some frame rate dips there. For some reason. On the phone, that is. Or I should say on the mirroring, which is controlled by the phone. The game itself's playing okay on my end. It's not that obviously that bad when you actually play it. It's just streaming it. But anyway, I've fought Humphrey a lot, so I do kind of know his tricks. He has a lot of area of effect attacks as well as spread things, so there is sort of like a stay away from him type of deal going on. But you want to like take what you can get attack-wise. Hey, alright, this is getting annoying. Let me just kill him because I get full health restore after beating him. Hey. Fuck it. There we go. Somebody said backstab him. Totes Rad. Yeah, Totes Rad says backstab him. We'll get there. That is actually a thing in this game, just not with this character. We'll get a new hat. Oh, see, it's a reference to a different game. We'll equip it now, why not? And there we go. Kappa also has a thing for hats. I'm not... Oh, let's see what that's a picture of. Humphrey. Took me a second there. Well, guess what? That is actually the first area of the game completed. And for that effect, a reward for that is we unlock the Adventurer class. So, you cannot go to Amaranth Keith, the 2nd level, with any character but the ones you've beaten him with, which means I can't take Cyril the Adventurer to Amaranth Keep. I have to do it with Blythe. So, new class or new level? I'm asking chat.